No. Hi. Oh, you can hear me now. Hi, welcome. You are at Free Recovery Community. My name is Carrie McMullen. I'm the Associate Executive Director here. Ryan and his wife are celebrating their 21st wedding anniversary in Hawaii. I know, right? Like, they do so much for us that they deserve a break. But that means that they have entrusted me with the whole place. So I'm going to need your help tonight, friends, because I am super nervous. But I know one thing that this community does so well, and we're not going to get there quite yet. But for those of you who do not know what we are and who we are Free Recovery Community. We are a community for addicts, loved one of addicts, and spiritual refugees. Together, we break the silence of addiction while creating space for healing, recovery, and spiritual connection. And again, we want to welcome all of those who are joining us online. I hope Ryan and Tammy are joining us from the beach in Hawaii. So I hope you guys can help anywhere you guys are tonight. Once again, one thing that we don't do here ever, and I'm going to need your help, I'm going to ask that you shout it out. All the words, if you don't know what the words are, we can cheat and look at the screen. But the one thing we don't do, if you can count it out on 1, 2, 3, we don't do shame. We do have a lot of fun activities here, and if you're new with us, we would love to connect with you after service. Just outside of these doors, you can get a welcome bag from myself or one of our volunteers, Erica and David, over here with the big balloon. They can get you connected with a welcome bag. Inside the welcome bag, you'll find some fresh roasted wagon coffee, along with some free swag and the meeting schedule. On the back of that schedule, you'll find a QR code that you can scan, and that will get you connected to all of the different things that we do here. You can download our app there. You can get a live meeting schedule, so anytime we have updates, that is the most accurate way, because we can't keep up with all the different meetings we have, so check out the app. And then as well, sign up for our newsletter, and then that way you can find out who the guest storyteller is each week and what the message will be about. So I encourage you guys to download that. Next up, we have next week is a little bit of a different week. So we had done this back in, I think it was October, and it was such a success. So Ryan and I are going to open up next week and do a question series. So we're asking that everybody either email their questions, or just outside of these doors, you guys can find a little, like a salad bowl. It's like a little clear bowl out there. And any question that you have, whether it's about God or recovery or really anything that you want to hear Ryan and I engage on the question, I promise we don't have all your answers, but it'll at least help you get a little bit insight as to who we are and what we do. You can also email your questions at ben@freerecoverycommunity.com. And if you forget all of this that I'm saying, you can also get on to our newsletter, and then that will also be there this week. And I believe you'll have until Thursday to get those questions into Ben. Next up, this one's a fun one. So we are going to have Jennifer. She, I don't think, is here tonight. She wrote and directed this play, and it's called American Addict. It's an amazing story, and it's in full alignment with what we do. These actors are spectacular, and she wrote a part for Ryan. So Ryan will actually be in the play. It's a lot. I know, it's pretty amazing. We're going to, we have to cheer him on, because you know he's going to be fabulous at all the things that he does. But it's going to, the tickets are on sale, both on our website, and again in the newsletter, but it's under events. It's going to be 2 nights. It's a Sunday and a Monday night here in this building. It's the 17th and 18th at 7 p.m. And on that Sunday, I do believe the cafe will be open. Next up, friends, we have the Faith and Recovery Summit. So we had done this. This is now our second year that Ryan and I have put this on. It's September 18th and 19th. So this is for anyone, whether you're a leader in your community, you could be a faith leader, you could be an entrepreneur, anyone who's looking to try to hone in on their message of who they are and why their story matters. This is it's $179 for 2 complete full days of just activities, and it was so successful. Last year we had people from all over the nation join us. So if you're watching us online, you can also get more information on our website about this under events. And yes, once again, it will be in our newsletter. Okay, I got through the announcements, friends. Now, I know, right? I started off well. Next, we're going to get to the fun part. So this is where we're going to do our celebration. Every week, we come together and we celebrate absolutely anything, big or small, whether it's a sober anniversary, a belly button birthday, did I say balloon? No. Anyway, the big balloon over here, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to celebrate it sometime. But if you're joining us online, drop your celebrations in the comments so we can share with you. We're going to take 3 minutes, and we have Eloise and Elizabeth who are going to pass around the mic. So if you have a celebration, raise up your hands, and they will get you a mic. These 3 minutes are for you.
Hi, I'm Erica. I just want to wish my wonderful husband, David, a happy 63rd birthday today.
Hi, my name is Grant, and I'm an addict, and I'm celebrating 2 years clean and sober this week.
Hi, my name is Craig. I celebrated 1 year clean on the 7th.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and my son is here for the first time to support me, and I'm just super grateful that he's here.
Yeah, Christopher!
Hey guys, I'm Ben, and I wanted to celebrate the volunteer grounds crew over the last few weekends. Was able to build a really cool new patio space out front under the ash tree with a big table, and it came together and it looks so good. So thanks to those folks, and just want to celebrate that. Thanks.
Bless you.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I just wanted to celebrate that I got a new job and it's been amazing and I love it and I'm just so happy.
Hi, this is Jeffrey, and I celebrate my mom's birthday on the 4th. She turned 76. And happy Mother's Day to everybody, all the mothers tomorrow.
Good evening, I'm Tom, and I'm here with my beautiful wife, Connie, and we are new grandparents to Jackson Ryan.
Hello everyone, I'm Nicole. I am celebrating 18 months this month of drug and alcohol free.
Hi, my name is Mandy and I'm celebrating 60 days after a relapse.
I do want to sneak in one little mom brag. Sorry, Mace. But I am so excited. My twins, Caitlin and Mason, they finished I'm going to cry, but they finished their last day of senior year. So I am just so proud of them, but they are officially going to be graduating high school. And now I'm going to invite this beautiful mother and daughter duo to come up here and help me. This is Eloise and her mom, Elizabeth. And we are going to, do you want to take the first one? It's going to pop up here, and we're just going to read the celebrations. Oh, that's my cousin. Love you.
This is Caroline, and can you guys hear me? Okay. This is Caroline, and she says, I want to celebrate Carrie Pascal McMullen.
Oh, love you, cousin. You're the best.
This is Tony Smith, and he says my son Dylan is clean of cancer for the second time.
Oh, amazing.
And this is Mike Fillion, who says, a few weeks ago, my sister had a medical emergency, and it was feared that she had a heart attack. Great news. They found out her heart is perfect.
This is Jason, and he's celebrating Carrie giving the message tonight.
Thanks, Jason.
And the Kennedy's anniversary from Jason.
Yeah, that's pretty magical to celebrate because they have given us so much. That's it. That's the little red dot means we're done. Thank you, friends. I'll take those from you. Thanks, Eloise. I love when moms and kids get to do recovery together. All right, friends, we are about to kick off a new series. Right now, the series, I think, is 4 weeks, and it is the work of being human, and here is the video.
Never met a match I couldn't handle. Oh, get ready for a battle, 'cause you know.
Part of the work of being human is accepting that we all have an origin story. Whether we like ours or not, where we came from shaped who we are and what we believe about ourselves and the world around us. Whatever our family of origin story is, and whatever those relationships are today, all of us have one thing in common. We all came from a mother. And given tomorrow is Mother's Day, I'm going to talk about the complexity that this day can often bring that we don't often say out loud. Some of you are going to wake up tomorrow and have the most amazing Mother's Day where nothing goes wrong, you feel loved, all of your choices are just, you feel so good in your system, and you are like, I am the world's best mom, and my mom is my best friend, and all of my hopes and dreams are answered. And then there's some other of us whose stories might be a little different. Perhaps we're sitting with grief of missing someone, but still being asked to show up and celebrate someone else. Perhaps estrangement is part of your story. Maybe you were the one who chose to walk away, or maybe you feel like you were the one left. Perhaps you never had an opportunity to have children of your own. And every day, this story reminds you of what you think everyone else has that you don't get to have. Perhaps you're a single parent who's going to wake up in the chaos of everyday life tomorrow by yourself, and no one is going to celebrate you the way that you see other people celebrate you. Perhaps you lost your mom to this disease of addiction. Perhaps you lost her before she ever got to see you on the other side of your addiction. As you can see, I could sit up here and all night alone just name all the complicated relationships that we can have with our mom, and that could take up literally the entire hour. But it doesn't matter what those variations are. many of us are sitting with the same feelings. Many of us are sitting with shame, with grief, with regret, and questions we can never go back and get the answer to. If I was able to boil that question into one simple question, I believe it would truly be, was what I did enough? I think I've been sitting with that question most of my life. My mom did some amazing things. My mom was an extraordinarily creative woman. She could make a Halloween costume that literally would make all of my classmates envious and jealous of like, oh, I wish I had a mom like you. My mom could throw the most elaborately themed birthday parties. And again, her creativity would, that woman could take leftovers and any scrap of food that was in our kitchen, and I swear it felt like it was the most gourmet meal you've ever eaten. And yet, one of the most terrifying secrets that I have is when I let people know that I am fully estranged from my mom and I have no relationship with her whatsoever. I had to make a tough decision to walk away, one that many people do not understand. For years, I sat questioning my decision. If I could have only been better, if I could have only done something different, always wondering, could I have saved her? Always wondering if what I did was enough. I've learned that some of our deepest pain lives hidden beneath ordinary moments. Many of us don't have words for these feelings, and others may not acknowledge it, but we know the tension is there. We can feel it. And trust me, I do not have some deep scholarly knowledge of the Bible. If that's why you came here tonight, come back in 2 weeks when Ryan gives his sermon again. But what I can say is the ones in the Bible that I do know that I can speak about, these are the ones that have no name. Those people are my people. They are not the main characters, and they are not the stories that get all the attention or have chapters written about them. They're the ones that carry the quiet pain and some of the deepest lessons if we can only slow down long enough to listen to them. And tonight, I'm going to talk about the tension that one of these characters really helps me feel just seen and just known. And this takes place in Mark chapter 14. Jesus is nearing the end of his life. They're having a normal, ordinary dinner at someone named Simon the leper's house. So that alone tells me instantly, oh yeah, Jesus is the kind of guy who can, he's the one who would hang out with those people that aren't typically comfortable to hang around with, the ones that people judge, the ones that people will never think twice of. I like to think Jesus could have been sitting at my kitchen table and felt perfectly at home. So at this time, the leaders of the time are already plotting Jesus' death. People are sitting around having ordinary conversations. No one's quite understanding what's happening. Some of them are sitting there talking about things they hope are going to happen, things they think are going to happen, but nobody knows. Everyone's just trying to figure it out together. And then a woman comes onto the scene. Just an ordinary woman, we do not know her name. And she comes in and she's holding an alabaster jar of what were called is costly anointing oil. This alone could give an entire sermon of the background of this oil and all of the beautiful things. But what it matters for this story is this costly jar of oil was likely part of this woman's dowry. It was a part of her worth. It was literally all she probably had to offer the world. And she walks in and she walks straight up to Jesus. She does not open the jar daintily like the perfect refined woman and just dab a little bit here. That woman has the audacity to walk in and shatter the jar, breaking it completely, and anoints all of it onto Jesus' head. Instantly, everyone around her starts chiming in and has some sort of criticism to offer this woman. They start calling her wasteful. How dare you? Like, what are you doing? Like, nobody in their right mind would have broken this entire jar, right? But this woman walks in and she literally gives everything she has. No way of taking it back. No way of saving it for another day. She literally leaves it all out. But before anyone can say anything, and before she starts defending herself, before she starts explaining herself to these people around her, Jesus interrupts and he tells them all she did what she could. He knew that her love was not going to be understood by others. He knew that she did not know how to show up any other way. He knew it wasn't going to change his outcome. But for him, it was enough. I think that Jesus is trying to teach us that unfortunately, love doesn't guarantee outcomes. We want it to. We believe if we just try harder, control a little bit more, just keep trying one more time, that maybe this time it'll be enough. But you can love someone deeply and still not be able to change their story. It's hard to sit in the unknowns. It's hard to know the difference of when we think we've done enough and when it's time to walk away and stop trying. I told you some wonderful things about my mom. It's harder to talk about the things that shaped my self-doubt and my fear. The things that make it hard for me to believe that I deserve to be in this world and that I deserve love and safety. The things that made me feel unsafe in my skin, to the point that I knew that my only choice was to walk away. My moment of knowing did not happen in an instant. It happened slowly over time. We would have the same arguments. It was on again, it was off again. And one day, we were having this same recycled conversation over and over again, the same one that we've been having for years. Nothing about this day was extraordinary, except this time, I happened to be on speaker, and my soon-to-be husband at the time overheard the conversation for the first time, and I was mortified. I had somebody witness the true dynamics of my life. I let somebody see what I allowed to happen. And so I had to face something that I was not ready to face. I had to face that if I didn't take different actions, that I would be in that same fight year after year after year, and that I would never be able to become the person that I wanted to become because I was always trying to become the person just to fix that situation. So I knew that I had to take difficult action. And when I hung up the phone that day, I did not know that that was our last conversation. I don't remember what our last words were together. I don't remember ever thinking to myself that this was it. I went on to get married. I then found myself never having held a baby in my entire life. Now I had 2 babies of my own to try to figure out how to mother when I didn't have a mother to show me anything. Not to spoil it, but drunk moms don't tend to get it right all the time. I made a lot of mistakes. I struggled desperately for years, not knowing how to do this human thing, how to do this mom thing, how to show anyone who I was and the pain I was holding. So I used drugs and I used alcohol and I numbed it all down and I shut it all down. I didn't get sober until my kids were 8 years old. I wish I could have changed that date. I wish I could have given them a sober mom earlier, but that is not my story. I had to learn to forgive myself, not only for the mistakes that I couldn't go back and change, but I also had to learn to forgive my mom. And I also had to learn to forgive the relationship for what it was and not what I wanted it to be. Still to this day, I have to practice self-forgiveness. I have a difficult time even knowing that my voice matters. In fact, last night, both my cousin and Teresa got complete meltdown tears in my eyes, and I was like, guys, I can't do this. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm never coming back. Like, literally, you gotta thank these two. Brian, thank these two, because if it wasn't for them, I was like, I am literally out of here. Seriously, you think it's funny, but it's true. But I do want to say that my kids are now 18 years old. They're about to head off to college. I don't know that the love that I gave them is going to be enough to save them. I don't know if the love that I gave them is going to have them like their story of origin. I don't know. I hope that it does. I hope they can one day see my humanity and know that I did the best I could. But I do know that when I read Mark 14, I don't see her failure. I see someone who gave what she had, someone who loved fully and didn't hold back, someone who did something that others weren't meant to understand. Jesus was pleased just with her best. He reminds them again that she did what she could. It wasn't the outcome. It wasn't over-explaining her choices so that everyone else was comfortable with them. He goes on to say, what she has done is beautiful. So maybe the question isn't, did it turn out the way we wanted? Maybe the question is, did we really do the best we could? No one can give you that answer. I would like to tell you as a friend, Teresa told me last night, Caroline told me last night, you're doing the best you can, friend, right? And I wish I could tell you all that that's enough and that you would believe me and, we can all just carry about our days. But honestly, the work is we have to believe it ourselves. We are the only one who needs to sit when we put our heads on the pillow at night. We're the only ones who need to sit with that answer. And sometimes healing is accepting that people may not be capable of giving us what we need. Maybe the work is to stop blaming ourselves for that. We never learn how this woman dealt upon hearing of Jesus' death. We don't know if she sat there and questioned if she should have been better, if she could have done more, maybe if she properly blessed it that some way different. We don't know. But what I would like to think that she heard the words of Jesus and that she knew her love mattered. I'd like to think that she found peace, knowing that her love was not wasted. For those of you who may not relate to this with your mom or on Mother's Day, you likely have your own version of this story. There's likely another relationship, another loss, another situation where love didn't fix it. But again, what if it's not about fixing anything? What if we're really only being asked to show up and do our best? To sit with people who are struggling, not to fix them, but just to love them as best as we can. And if you had to make the difficult choice to walk away, or if you're grieving that person who your love did not save, your love was not wasted. I hope you know that what you gave mattered. Even if it doesn't change the outcome, and even if others don't understand it. You did what you could, and I hope you know that what you did was beautiful. So tonight we're going to hear a song for anyone who might be sitting wishing that that person could be in your life, or wishing you could erase that ache that you're holding in your heart. This song, it's obviously original cover, like I get it that it's a cover, but I purposely changed it to a powerful woman who I just adore, but I did it to keep it in the theme of, yes, the female energy, because we are going mamas tonight. So right now we're gonna hear Wish You Were Here. always where we invite a community member up into the living room to share a little bit of their experience, strength, and hope on the topic at hand. This one I personally love so, so much because I have been asking her for probably about 2 years. And she had the audacity to tell me that she would never do the guest storyteller until I delivered the message and then interviewed her. So she was going to make me do like all the things. But you guys know her, and I'm so excited that you get to hear a little bit of her story. But Melissa is actually the director of our kids club. So one of the things that is so amazing each and every single week is her and her daughter, Patience, helps watch children so that other parents can come and experience recovery. And I can see a few faces who I know whose kiddos are there, and I just think it's so, so beautiful. So on this special Mother's Day evening, can you guys please do me a favor and help welcome my friend Melissa up into the living room? You're doing this. Is it mic on? You have to have the mic on, so people there. You have to like speak into the mic, friends.
Okay.
So Melissa will not. She loves to say that she doesn't talk a lot at meetings. So this is a really big, hard, scary thing for her. So again,
Yes.
I think we're in alignment with how hard tonight is.
Yes.
So thank you for saying yes.
Yes.
Thank you for all that you and Patience do. I know a lot of families benefit from the work that you guys do every single Saturday. I want to talk about your own journey of addiction when it comes to your 3 children. Can you tell us a little bit about what was it like for you to be a mom in active addiction?
Yes.
In the mic.
Closer?
There you go, like that.
Yes. Okay. Being a mother in active addiction was quite the struggle. I like to convince myself that I was doing a good job because I had a routine and did things different than my parents did. But looking back, I put my kids in a lot of risky situations and had a lot of people around, and my drugs and alcohol took I put that before them, you know what I mean? And there was a lot of shame and guilt then, and I should have, sorry guys, I'm really nervous. I didn't create a lot of space for them to be children. And or even have feelings or any of the things that they should have been allowed to do as children. And ultimately, my rights were terminated, and I didn't get to even be their mom in the end.
And that was not the end of the story, though.
No.
So let's go into, when did you know that it was time to start taking different action? And can you tell us a little bit about what the road to recovery has looked like as a mom and regaining connections with your kids?
I mean, after my rights were terminated, I dove off the deep end for quite a while. But there came a point where sorry, I don't like it in my face. There came a point where I realized that my kids, I hoped that my kids were going to be in my life again, you know what I mean? And either they were going to find the same person who lost them, or my grave, or somebody who found a way to stand back up and could show them eventually how to stand back up if they faced adversity. And that's what I really wanted them to find. And so I started going to 12-step meetings, and my children at that point, at least my older children, as you know, I don't have contact with my youngest. I haven't had contact with him in almost 6 years. But they, at that point, refused to have contact with me until I had 6 months sober. And so I started going to 12-step meetings, and patients actually started talking to me before I had 6 months sober. And so I started working the steps, and I started really doing this thing, and yeah.
What did it look like? Because I know that your mom was one of your children's primary caregiver, and that you had to find an acceptance in your origin story when it came from, because you had your own dynamic with your mom, and now suddenly your kids were having a different dynamic. What did that look like to find peace and gratitude for that?
So for when my mom was raising my daughter, I couldn't find peace with that. I was very against. My mom raised my daughter until she was 14, until she passed away. And that entire 14 years, I refused to accept that my mom was Patience's mom. I refused to accept anything that she was doing for my mom. And that was because of the animosity between me and my mom and the way that she raised me and all of the traumatic experiences that I had with my mom. But after she died, it was actually somebody was doing the obituary, and they had said something about Patience being her special granddaughter or something. And it was in that moment that I was able to see all of the things that she had done for Patience, and all of the just the amazing person that Patience was. And I just had this immense amount of gratitude that everything she had done for Patience, and Patience called her mommy, and I refused to even acknowledge that with Patience. But it was in that moment that I was like, absolutely not. She will be listed as one of my mom's daughters. I had taken up so much space in my children's lives that I didn't deserve to, and I should have acknowledged their feelings and all these things, and I didn't for so much of their lives. And every time Patience called her mommy, I'd be like, Nana. And how dare I do that? This woman had raised her. And so I recognized that both could be true. I could have a horrible relationship with my mom, but she had done something different with Patience. And so I needed to acknowledge both.
And then how would you say self-forgiveness, how is that leaned into your story as far as forgiving? You did the best you could with what you had until you knew better, and then you did better. But looking back and all of the different complications that came around with addiction, what does your self-forgiveness practice look like?
I mean, that's been a long journey, and it's ongoing. I think that the relationship that I have with my older two children today has played a huge role in that. Obviously, Patience and I spend a lot of time together. The community has seen that. And so I think that, I have a relationship with Christopher, and I get to talk to him and whenever I want to. And the fact that we get to continue to rebuild that today, so that helps, you know what I mean? And then I've had to parent Patience through some things today, and she reminds me regularly. I remember when she first came back into my life, I was like, I'm not a mom. Why are you trying to get me to do these motherly things with you? And she just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and I had to get to this point where I was like, okay, I don't get to say that I'm not something when she's asking me to be this. I already did that so much of her life. I have to accept that this is what she wants and needs right now. And so that helped with that journey. And then I think working through the steps has helped with that, you know what I mean? And then therapy. Therapy has helped with that, and just recognizing that I did the best that I could when I was in addiction with the knowledge and the tools that I had. And so I can't continue to live in shame and guilt for the rest of my life. I have to move forward and heal, and just continue to learn to forgive myself. And it's going to be probably an ongoing process for the rest of my life.
And I want to circle back to your youngest because you do not have a relationship with him today. And I can imagine the pain and the grief and all of the things that go along with that. But you actually have a very beautiful practice that you do on a regular basis. Can you tell us what you do in order to maintain hope for that relationship?
So I have a notebook, and in the front of it, I wrote my amends letter to him, and I continue to write letters to him daily. And my hope is that someday I will be able to give him that notebook. If I don't get to, then that's just the reality of the situation. Sorry. I think, like I was sharing with you, one of the things that keeps me hopeful with that is like, I didn't have patience for very long, very long of her life, but the relationship that her and I have today is proof to me that it is possible that things can be restored. And so I hang on to that hope and hope that the same can be true with Brazen.
And I want to do one final question. I know you're doing really hard things, friends, and I'm so proud of you. There's a lot of parents out there tonight, or a lot of people, you don't all have to be parents, but someone who's maybe sitting in that pain or that grief, that remorse of, was what I did enough? And they're trying to find some sort of peace when they don't fully know how the story ends, but they want to believe that it will all work out. What sort of hope can you give someone tonight that they can just hold on a little bit longer and do the work today, even though they can't guarantee tomorrow's outcome? Sorry, that's a big one.
Sorry, it's okay. I think that you just have to believe and trust that whatever happened in the past is done and over with, and that like we are enough just as we are right here, right now. And you just have to look inward and just begin that healing process. And sorry, I'm so raw right now. Know that you only know what you know right here, right now, and just continue searching for your identity within yourself and not outside of you, and just keep moving forward.
Thank you so much again, that all that you and Patience do. I do know that usually with people I say like, you're gonna stick around, or she's literally here every single week. So I'm like, are you gonna stick? You're not gonna run away and like quit your job this week after this, are you?
No.
So I would imagine, I would really encourage you guys, whether you have children or not, get to know Melissa, get to know Patience. I have never met Christopher. We're gonna have a little bit of a surprise later, because I know you already said yes. Your mom said you said yes, and now you can't really take it back. Sorry, but I just think it's extraordinary to see these families come back together, and then also get to be of service in this community. So can you guys please do me a favor? It was really hard for her to be up here. So can you guys please give Melissa a round of applause? Look at that! Melissa, look! Melissa, I hope you saw that. Did you see that? It's so good. Every single week we end similar to how we began, but this is where we end with our heartaches. We believe that you do not have to carry whatever it is that you're holding by yourself, This is where you get to speak those words out loud and just know that you are not alone and that you have a community of people who are here with you. And if you guys, I didn't ask you this to do it again. Do you mind doing this again? Eloise and Elizabeth are going to pass these around again. If you're watching online, you can drop your heartaches in the comments. We're going to take 3 minutes, but if you have a heartache here tonight, something that you don't want to hold on to silently, just raise up your hand, and these 3 minutes are yours.
Thank you. My name is Trish, and my children are estranged from me. And I know it's going to happen. Thank you. And iron sharpens iron.
Glad you're here.
My name's Vanessa, and my son is in the custody of my sister-in-law because of things that I've done in my addiction. And I'm thankful that I get to see him twice a week, but I'll be missing him tomorrow, and I'll be alone. So. Thanks.
My name is Weston. I have 2 heartaches. One, I mentioned it last week when my parents went down to visit my uncle because they got put in hospice care, and just the experience that they've been having all week has been really hard on my parents. Just praying for them and our uncle and aunt and their family. And then another piece is just our internal family dynamic right now is not what it's ever been like, and that's really hard and weird and confusing. So just pray for our family. Thank you.
Because of the addiction, I've been away from my son 4 years now. That's 4 Mother's Days. And he gave me an orchid before he left. He's in a different country right now. And that orchid almost died, but it came back to life this year and bloomed. Beautiful flower. And I just look at that and smile every day. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Hi, my name is Lauren. My best friend's sister has been away from her little girl for about 3 years. She is very badly addicted to drugs. I think she's in jail now. We really lost contact with her, and I just pray for Hazley, who is her little girl, who's not going to have a Mother's Day with her mom. That's all.
I'm Tom, and we're going to spend the 3rd Mother's Day without our daughter that we lost to addiction in July of 22, and we just miss her deeply.
Oh, real quick. My name is John. I'm praying for Melissa for those letters to go through.
Eloise, do you want to come back up not upstairs, but it's kind of up the stairs. I just want to say that I hope tomorrow and the rest of this evening, everyone who shared about all the difficulties, you never know what someone is carrying. So tomorrow, can we just be a little bit nicer to people on the street? And you just never know those heavy hearts that they're holding. And I hope tonight is kind of a reminder of that. Do you want to read this one?
This is from Lance. I would ask the free community to offer up prayers for an online viewer and her son Caleb, who is in active addiction. Please pray that he can overcome his addiction and find his way back to a higher power, which can lead him back to a better place.
Thank you, Lance and Carrie and Caleb. Thank you, Eloise. It's very brave being up here. It's bright, isn't it? Right? It's very bright. Thank you, ladies. If you guys have been impacted by the tremendous work that we get to do here at Free, I do want you guys to know that we do rely on your generous giving. If it wasn't for you guys, we would not be able to continue doing what we do. And having these programs where families can come together, having this community where we can come together every single week, we do rely on your generous givings. And like Ryan does say, that even if you don't give here, it is important to give somewhere. Again, he does say, of course, we hope that you give here. However, even if it's a small act of kindness, that's something that we can all do tomorrow, just a slight little lighter load for somebody else tomorrow. But there are 3 ways to give. You can download our app. It's at freerecoverycommunity.com. I hope I get these in the right order. And there you can download all of our content. Go to the giving button, drop it down. You can give either one time or reoccurring. You can also go to our website at freerecoverycommunity.com. That too is just the giving button. And then just outside of the doors, for cash or check, there's the kind key. No. What are those things called? Just like the plastic boxes? They're probably called something and I can't think of what they're called right now. We also have the kind kiosk, which is the one tippy tap system. And they accept credit cards. You just tap your card. You can select any amount. But thank you all for being here tonight. I know this day is hard for many, many people. This is the part, Christopher, where I'm going to ask a favor of you and your mom. Would you mind coming up here? This is one of my most favorite prayers. This is one that, for me, the ACA program, which is Adult Children of Alcoholics and Other Dysfunctional Homes, this prayer has tremendously made an impact in my life. If you guys do not know this version of the prayer, it's similar to the Serenity Prayer with a slight little different focus. So if you would, let's just all take a breath. Where all the major feelings that we're all feeling right now. Take a breath, and then just with some gratitude, we can open our hands as a sign of openness, knowing that God is with us always, and He's simply just asking us to do our best. And tonight we'll close with the ACA Serenity Prayer, which goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, courage to change the one I can, and wisdom to know that one is me. Thank you all. And don't worry, Ryan will be back next week. Thanks, guys.